This is a subject I have a lot of experience with. We're talking about none other than procrastination with your writing. The reason why you struggle with procrastination is because you're thinking about procrastination wrong. If you want to stop procrastinating, you have to understand why you do it, the deeper issue that triggers it. So let's not procrastinate any further and jump right into it. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Rick Bettencourt. I'm an independently published author who has sold over 90,000 copies of my own books. I have also had various leadership roles with the Florida Writers Association, and I love empowering creatives like you to help you get your stuff out into this world. So, why do I want to talk about procrastination today? Because it's a topic I have a lot of experience with. I used to struggle with it in my own writing a lot and still do from time to time. But I've recently come across some science-based research on how it all works, and I wanted to share that with you today. So procrastination really comes, we're going to talk about three things today. We're going to talk about understanding what procrastination is. We're going to talk about recognizing when you might be avoiding getting your butt in the chair and writing, because sometimes it's not so obvious. And then lastly, we're going to talk about overcoming writer's block. So understanding what procrastination truly is. And you're not so much a procrastinator as it is that you have a habit of procrastinating. So know that this is a habit and that it's a habit that can be broken. You're not avoiding the task of writing. You're avoiding the stress or the discomfort that's triggered by this task. So let me say that again. You're not avoiding the task so much of writing. You may think you are, but what you're really avoiding is that discomfort that's triggered by this task. And the key is to think about, well, what's that trigger? Why are we so triggered? There's two types of procrastination. There's productive procrastination, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. And that's like clearing your head, right? That can be good. It can be helpful. But there's the destructive procrastination, which is what we're going to spend some time on. And that's the mindless awareness, avoidance rather, mindless avoidance. You're maybe scrolling through videos, TikTok or Facebook, and you're avoiding doing the work that is necessary to get your butt in the chair and get things done. The reason why is you're subconsciously you want to feel good. So there's this discomfort of trying to avoid what it is that you're feeling bad about. You're feeling bad that you need to write 1,000 words today. I just can't. So there's this I want to feel better subconscious effect, and you're being fueled by stress. The and avoidance leads to this seemingly subconscious tip or thing that you're doing, right? That's actually releasing chemicals in your brain to make you feel better, and then sort of fueling this destructive form of avoidance. So how do we break that? So yeah, we can say just write and just do it anyway. Yeah, well, we can, but the research suggests that by being a little self-compassionate about why we're feeling this way, this disrupts that shame loop. So we feel like shit because we're not writing the words that we should be, or we're not working on the final draft of our book. And so bring awareness to it. Be self-compassionate. Forgive yourself for it, right? I mean, that may sound a little hokey, but all right, Rick, yeah, I realize it. I'm not working on the final section of my book. Bring awareness to this and ask yourself, well, what's really stressing me out here? Maybe uh, there's health issues with my partner that is in the back of my mind, or there's some sort of subconscious thing going on that is legitimate that uh, I need to think about, and or that is taking away from this effort. So recognize that, but also tell yourself, what would the future writer, the one who gets the book done, what would he say, and what would he want me to do? And then get your butt in the chair, right? You want to work for a few minutes, if it's just 5 minutes, and then give yourself a break. So the research shows that, one, if we forgive ourselves, we give ourselves compassion, the next time we come across procrastination, 80% of the people, according to this, I think it was a UCLA study, 80% will not avoid the next time. So self-compassionate, work for a few minutes, and most likely that will be more than just a few minutes, and you'll sort of get into that rhythm. Uh, and then give yourself a break. Go on to social media and watch seemingly silly, or sometimes they really are silly, right? Go on Facebook and go into Reels and watch some stupid crap, or go onto TikTok and watch singing and cat videos or something, right? Give yourself that break. It's okay. Just recognize it. And know that when you're pushing yourself, when you're working for these few minutes, you don't need to feel confident about it. You don't need to feel great about it, but you do need to act. And in taking that action, you feel a lot better about yourself. So that's tip one. Step one, understanding what is procrastination. Secondly, and this is a big one for me, and even in researching for this video, I came across some insights here. Recognize when you're avoiding getting in the chair and writing. So recognizing those subtle things. So these distractions, if you would, that may seem productive. For instance, I got a couple of examples here written down. I have to tidy up my working area. So I have to spend 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour reorganizing my desk space, or maybe I need to reorganize some of the books I have for research. I got to put them in right order. I got to understand, oh no, wait a minute, no, this uh, uh, should come first, or secondly, in terms of my resources by priority, for instance. A couple of examples. My pencils need to be sharpened. Oh, okay, let's go sharpen my pencil. It's these little things. But and some of those may be a little obvious. Like, here I am sharpening my pencils. But the things that stuck out for me were research. Oh no, I really need to research this character's motivation more. I need to understand. I need to find real life people that are just like this person. Let me go on the internet and start research. Avoidance, distraction, procrastination. those are the kind of things that catch me. Maybe how to put the second act together a little bit better when I'm on the third act. So this was a key. I think it was Alan Ball in I think he's a screenwriter. Talked about this when you're getting toward the end of your book. In here, or in true honesty, in a lot of things, when I'm getting toward the end of something, I'm getting that sort of final stretch, and I decide maybe I need to go back to Act 1 and establish a little bit more tension between the protagonist and the antagonist, just a little bit more. So let me go back, instead of finishing, let me go back and make it a little better. Let me refine. So this is a trap that I find I get myself in. But just by being aware of it now and recognizing it, makes things move a lot better. The last thing I want to talk about today is overcoming writer's block. And one of the key things is to acknowledge that sometimes you just need to recharge your creative batteries. And that's okay. Go for the walk. Scroll through silly cat videos on TikTok. Sometimes it's helpful and beneficial. And that's that sort of good procrastination that we talked about, that productive procrastination. It's good to clear your head and go out for a walk or go for a run or talk to a friend. Another thing about overcoming writer's block is one thing to do if you're just not in that groove is to look at others' creativity. Read some other people's works. Or what I like to do is go into a completely different medium. Maybe I go to the theater or I watch a film that's inspiring for me. Go to the museum. Or if I don't have that luxury of having the time to actually go to these places, scroll through the internet and look at some inspiring photos and artwork, or even a YouTube video or something. But take that time to look at others and take time to be inspired by others' creativity. And then lastly, to overcome writer's block is write in a different format. I don't know how many times this has helped me get past something that I just can't get over in a work that I'm working on. Maybe I just write this chapter in a completely different point of view. Maybe I'm not going to use that, but maybe I do. But it's helpful to just take it from a different angle. Or maybe it's writing in a completely different genre. Maybe if you write novels, maybe try your hand at songwriting or poetry, or vice versa, right? The other thing I like to do is maybe just write in all dialogue. If I just can't get it going, I write in all dialogue, or vice versa. If I write a lot in dialogue, write it out in prose, or write it out in bullet points, or write it on a piece of paper in bullet points, and just to get past it. So, well, I hope that was helpful. This is probably a little longer than I wanted to, but just know that it's important to understand that procrastination is a habit. It's triggered by a discomfort towards something, and it's helpful to understand what that something is. Secondly, recognize that there are subtle ways of that procrastination may be rearing its ugly head, right? And then lastly, you can combat writer's block by recognizing that sometimes it's healthy to clear your head and take a break. Look at others for inspiration. All right, till next time.